just told you.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of D's Story Corner. If you've been watching these, you'll probably notice I really don't have my own story corner because this is a different corner. But hey, that's all right. Here to give you guys another look at my life in real estate and the stories that have come with it. So if you appreciate these stories, smash that like button, give me a thumbs up, type something out saying you recognize Game, because Game will recognize you. All that good stuff, okay? Let me know. Welcome back. This is the Pasadena Open House Armageddon story. And I remember almost 10 years to this date here. It was one of our first few homes that we did in Pasadena. It was actually on Sierra Bonita, right, in that little pocket north of the 210. We had an open house scheduled the next day, right? And I was a broker at that time. I was gonna showcase our new home that we just finished renovating, right? And my buddy Joe was one of our realtors. He stayed the night over at my house. I was living in the next city over Arcadia. And I remembered we said, hey, so it's night before our open house, first day showing it to the public. Said, okay, let's make sure we got everything. We had our little signs ready. You know, we went to the printer, got our little printed material, whatever it was. We had our flyers all ready, right? We had, I don't know what I was wearing. I probably had my clip-on tie ready to go. And I remember telling Joe, okay, you know, let's have a nightcap and let's get ready for our thing tomorrow, our open house tomorrow. And I remember it was probably 8 or 9 o'clock. We were having a drink and the wind just started blowing. And I was thinking, this is crazy. Why is it blowing so hard? And it started getting harder and blowing harder and harder. And then all of a sudden, there were like branches banging on our window, and I was thinking, the window's gonna break. What is happening? And I remember going outside to check on what's happening in the front of the house, and there was like little tornadoes, baby windstorms going on everywhere. It looked like a scene from The Wizard of Oz. I swear I saw a witch flying around. I didn't know what was going on. I jumped back into the house. I said, everyone chill out. The winds are going nuts. And I remember as we were sitting there listening to everything, we were watching a little bit of TV. The newscaster said winds were going to be over 100 plus miles per hour. Everyone tried to stay indoors. I was thinking, this is insane. And then sooner than later, around midnight or so, lost all power. And the winds still continued to get crazier and crazier and crazier, right? And we ended up going to sleep. Woke up the next morning. Joe got up, still didn't have power, didn't have any heat. Took a cold shower. I said, we got to get going, Joe. You ready? We jumped in the car, and I remember leaving my driveway. I made a left, and I probably got 100 yards down. I said, what the heck is going on? There's a big tree. It looked like a 100-year-old tree that just fell, covering the whole road, going from one house to the next house, covering the whole. You couldn't get by it at all. The tree was taller than me, so that's how long the trunk was, right? I looked at you. I said, this is crazy, and people were starting to come outside. Then I said, let's turn around. Went back the other way. Went back about a block and a half, trying to get out to our open house. Another tree has fallen, covering the other road. And I'm thinking, this is nuts. More people are starting to come out. Babies are crying. I don't know what's. People are in their night robes or whatever is going on, their sleepwear, and it starting to look like a scene. And I remember thinking, Joe, there's only one more way out. We got to go check it out. As we drove to that third exit out of our little neighborhood, 2 trees had fallen on top of cars. No way to get out. And I'm thinking, this is insane. This is the apocalypse, bro. People were coming out, not knowing what's happening, looking at the cars like it was the witch from The Wizard of Oz. And it was an insane scene. I looked at Joe, I said, yo, we need to get back to the crib right now and make some calls, try to figure out what's going on. I remember I tried calling PFAR, finding out everything was down. No lines were working. I had no idea. I told Joe, I said, we got to scrap the open house today. We need to really find out what's really going on. Neighbors are yelling, going crazy. No one has power. I said, no one opened the fridge. I'll be back. I'm going to jump on my bike. I took a backpack, put a baseball bat in my backpack, jumped on my beach cruiser, and said, I'm going to do some recon work, right? And as I'm cruising around the neighborhood, looking at all the neighbors, saying, hey, make sure everyone's all right, right? I felt like Negan or something with a bat behind me, right? Anyways, I'm going around. all the stores were getting ransacked as if like this was it, you know. It's gonna be like Mad Max time, right? And it looked crazy. People were just emptying out the grocery stores. Other stores weren't even open. And I was thinking, I need to get some supplies just in case something goes down. And the only place I found where it wasn't crazy was I rode to my good old donut store. And I told them, hey, what's happening? I don't know. Everyone's going crazy outside. All the roads are closed. No lights are working. They were like, yeah, I know. You know, we had crazy windstorm. Everything's down. I don't know how far. The donut store people were like, I don't know how far it goes. I said, okay, you have gas, you have power. We got propane. I said, make me 3 breakfast burritos right now. All right, a lot of salsa. I need to take it back, and we need food right now. So I remember I packed it up next to my baseball bat, and I rode back home. After cruising, doing a little recon work, I went back and told my wife, Melina, buddy Joe, I said, I don't know what's going on. I got us a little bit of food, and we gotta make it last. And no one opened the fridge because there's no power. I don't know how long we're gonna be. And we didn't do anything that night. Hunkered down, listening to the radio. It felt like the end of the world, right? And I remember Melina calling up because we had tickets to Cirque show that night in downtown LA. And I told her, hey, call up and make sure that we get our money back or whatever it is, because it's crazy. There's no way anything's going on. The whole Southern California is probably just all taken out by the wind. And I remember she called downtown LA, and they said, hey, you know what? We can't make the show because of this crazy wind. I want to make sure we get a refund. I said, what are you talking about? The show's still on. There's no wind. It's perfectly fine over here. And I looked at her and I said, they're lying. There's no way, because this wind was so nuts. It affected. We probably broke apart from California and drifted into the ocean. That's what I thought, right? As hard as the winds were blowing. But anyways, it was fine there. But we ended up not being able to leave our house. We couldn't take a car because the streets were closed. They had to bring in reinforcements, fire department, tree services to cut these trees in half so that we could literally drive our cars through. So on the second day, I remember telling Joe, get in the car, Joe. We need to go check on our property on Sierra Bonita. And finally we got to Pasadena after 2 days of being just locked down. And I was thinking, please let our house be okay. Because as we're driving through Pasadena, more trees had fallen on cars, onto homes, branches flying off, roofs had been taken off. It was a crazy scene. And I remember when we got to our house in Sierra Bonita, I looked at it and I was like, yes, we only lost a couple shingles, right? I said, Joe, I think we're okay. And as I'm looking at a couple shingles, I look next door and I look at the house across the street. Their whole roofs had blown off. Like, it looked like tree branches were spinning around and then just attacked the roof and put a new skylight in. It was insane, right? But I was so happy that our house was okay. We just had to patch up a couple shingles. I said, let's keep cruising and see what other things are going on in the neighborhood. And in that pocket there, we were going up and down the streets, if you know that area, from Casa Grande to Mountain to Brazzi. And I was thinking, like, this is a scene from Mad Max. Like, I feel like I gotta tie Joe to the front of my car and just give him a guitar or something, or just have him screaming, right? And I was like, just keep your eyes peeled. And I remember as we were looking at all the damage, there were so many people outside, we ended up meeting a bunch of neighbors. There was one house particular on Brazzi, if you're familiar with our work, where the big tree at the front of the house had fallen. It touched a little bit of the house, landed on a truck, broke a wall. I remember getting the number from that homeowner saying, man, I hope everything works out. And, you know, after a couple days more of just seeing all the wreckage, all the carnage, I remember telling Joe, you know what? I'm happy, man, that our house is okay. But the moral of the story that you can get out of this, through all that craziness, right? And through all the things, our house was okay, but we were still able to find a little bit of value. You know, speaking to the neighbors, that was the neighbor sign to leave the area. Their house got damaged by the wind. A big tree had fallen on their truck, and we were able to buy the house from them. I mean, with all the ups and downs that real estate gives you, always remember, there's always a little bit of light there. We found a little bit of glory. And yeah, we worked on that Brazzi home, and it turned out to be really good. I mean, you can see our pictures online if you ever want to check it out. But that time, 10 years ago, the hardest windstorm in Pasadena, man. Apocalypse, but only for a 2-block radius. Only for a 2-city radius, I guess. Because actually, once I went to Irwindale and once I went to all the surrounding cities, everyone was cool. It just was Pasadena and Arcadia. I don't know what happened. So Anyways, that's it for now. See you guys on the next one.